What's up everyone, my name is Alpha and today we're back with the Pokemon Hardcore Nuzlocke. Today's Hardcore Nuzlocke will be on Pokemon Black for once. We're actually on Pokemon Generation 5. Outside of the Citra games and the 3DS games, we're finally on a different game. And today's challenge will be, can I beat Pokemon Black Hardcore Nuzlocke using only water type Pokemon? No shinies for this week because running out of time, I'm not gonna lie. Just recovering from a little bit of the virus. So I didn't have enough time to shiny hunt this week, but still gonna be a hardcore Nuzlocke, still gonna be a fun Nuzlocke. And quickly run through the rules real quick. The rules are on screen. Pause it if you need to read it. And also the most important rule that's not on the rule set. Each of my Pokemon will be nicknamed after you guys in the comments. So thank you so much for leaving a comment in the previous challenge video. If you guys want me nicknamed after a future Pokemon in my future videos, just let me know in the comments down below. And also while you guys are down there, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Greatly help my channel as we're very close to 40k. I think we're gonna hit 40k before the end of the year. Might be jinxing it, but pretty likely. Anyways, let's get into the challenge video itself. Now, to begin off, funny enough, our starter Pokemon is gonna be the water type starter Pokemon, but we actually lose the first battle of this game, so we have to actually restart the entire save file. So well, that's an accident, but we're gonna come back and finally beat down both our rivals in the start. And we kind of need this because the XP here is actually pretty useful as we're gonna move forwards into the first gym of the game. Before then, we have to beat our rival once more inside of the Pokemon School, and we get pretty lucky that this rival battle, the Snivy did not do any damage to me at all using Vine Whip or anything, so we're able to knock him out pretty easily and then head into the first gym of the game. Now, the first gym in this game is going to be in Striaton City. Their ace Pokemon is determined by your starter Pokemon, so whatever starter Pokemon you have, they're going to have the stronger version of it. You guys should know, it's Generation 5. But anyways, we're going to start the battle off against Caitlyn using my Oshawott to focus energy up to boost my crit rate on my Oshawott, and luckily enough, I am able to two-shot, get a crit, and knock out the Lillipup. That's a pretty good start as I take no damage from it. And then the follow-up Pokemon is going to be the Ace, going to be the Pansage. We're going to tackle him, do a lot of damage, and crit him. Back-to-back crits, focus energy is actually pretty useful. And we're able to knock out Pansage. We take a huge hit from it, but we're able to knock him out in the following hit. And we beat the first gym of the game, which kind of scared me, kind of spooked me to begin with. But now here comes the harder part. We're going to move on to Nacrene City. And there is a gym for us in here first, but we won't go outside into this route and get our next Pokemon that's available to us. We're able to get ourselves a Time Pole, catch ourselves a Time Pole, which I actually realized we could have got our next Pokemon. I think we could have gone into the forest, Pinwheel Forest, and got another Pokemon, but I'm not too sure. I haven't played Black and White in a little bit. But we're going to clear through this, catch the Time Pole, and move on into the second gym of the game. We're going to face off against Lenora next. Lenora is going to be the Norm type gym leader. She is quite powerful for the second gym. I completely forgot how strong she is, so we're going to start the battle off against her using my Duat very close to leveling up, but since I'm not past the level cap, I am legal to use them. I'm going to focus energy up since it obviously has an Intimidate on me. I am able to Razor Shell into him, and then it uses Takedown. The recoil damage is going to put it into range of Razor Shell, so which is nice for us. We're able to knock him out, and then her last Pokemon, her ace Pokemon, will be a Watchog. It does have Retaliate. I'm very scared of that. I actually Razor Shell it, and then she uses Retaliate, which actually does a huge amount of damage. Luckily, it does not knock me out because Watchog does not have the best of stats. And with the defense drop, and since I'm in Torrent range, I am able to knock him out using a Razor Shell. Beat down Lenora, and that was pretty much the two hardest gyms I was very worried about going into this because I have no answers to anything else. I have to just fight them straight up. Next up, we're going to head into the Pinwheel Forest and capture ourselves another water type Pokemon in Panpour. Panpour is one of the elemental monkeys. We're also going to head into Castelia City and also get ourselves a Water Stone to evolve our Panpour once it gets Scald as a move, because Scald is a pretty useful move. Very strong at the beginning of the game where we are right now. From there, we're going to head into the third gym of the game and we're going to face off against Berg next. Berg is going to be the bug type gym leader, but Berg is pretty tough. There is a Pokemon on Berg's team that's very tough. So we're going to start the battle off against her Whirlipede using my Simipour. Simipour is going to Scald into the Whirlipede, looking for a burn. Unfortunately, it ends up screeching me, so my defense gets dropped. So I have to switch out my poor Simipour into my Time Pole to do some damage here and there. I need to get a safe switch into my Simipour, which I luckily do by confusing down the Whirlipede. And luckily enough, it hits itself in confusion. So I'm able to go for a Scald and knock out the Whirlipede. Next up is going to be his ace Pokemon. His ace Pokemon is going to be Levani, a grass and bug type Pokemon, which I'm looking for a Scald burn so it ends up not hitting too hard with the Razor Leaf. Unfortunately, I don't get a burn on the first Scald, but luckily enough, I hit him once again after it protects, and I'm able to get a Scald after it hits me with a big Razor Leaf and drops me down pretty low. With the burn on, that's going to half his physical attacks, so Razor Leaf is not going to do too much damage. I end up trying to Scald it, but he has a low HP. He's going to outspeed me. Razor Leaf can crit me, so I decided to switch out into my Do What. He's getting Hyper Potions up, which is kind of annoying. I know I could live a few Razor Leaves because it's burned now, so I'm going to focus energy up first, and then I'm going for a crit right now. I live another Razor Leaf, which is nice, and Razor Shell will not do any sorts of damage at all, so I'm going to keep Razor Shelling. Lucky enough, he puts me down into a torrent range, and I get a crit on my Razor Shell with the focus energy, obviously, and I'm able to knock out the Levani. And then his last Pokemon will be a Dwebble, which I'm able to Razor Shell once more and knock it out fully fine, completely fine. And we end up beating the third gym of the game. And now we can move on into the desert area. This desert cave that's going to be pretty useful later on. We're going to get ourselves a cover-up fossil from it and get ourselves a Tortuga by going back to Nacrene City and reviving it. Next up, we're going to head into the next gym of the game, which is going to be a pretty hard gym. All these gyms are pretty hard, actually. This gym is going to be in Nimbasa City, and we're going to start the battle off against Elisa, the electric-type gym leader, using one of my 4 water-type Pokemon. But luckily enough, I do have a ground-type Pokemon in Palpitoad, so I'm able to start the battle off against Elisa using my Palpitoad. Almost do about half to him, so I gotta switch out into my Tortuga. Actually pretty fine, because it's gonna Aerial Ace me. I know I could live a Shockwave. I'm pretty confident I could live a Shockwave or a Volt Switch, and it's gonna Volt Switch me. I live with 32 HP. It goes out to his other Mocha. I am able to Ancient Power it, and it goes down to red HP. It's gonna Hyper Potion up, so I'm gonna waste all his healing items here and then go for an Aqua Jet to knock him out for sure. And then I do get Static, but my Tortuga knock out one of her Pokemon, which is actually pretty useful. From there, she's gonna go back into her Mocha. I know she's gonna use a Volt Switch, so I'm gonna go back into my Palpitoad. Palpitoad is gonna absorb the Volt Switch. That allows me to go back out into my Do What, because Do What can knock out the Mocha for us. And it's gonna end up using a Volt Switch onto my Do What. It puts me down into turret range, goes into her Zeb Striker. I hit him with a torrent boosted Razor Shell. It does not knock him out, so I have to go back into my Palpitoad. It goes for another healing item, which is unfortunate. I am able to Mud Shot, 2-shot it down, which is nice. And then her final Pokemon will be the Amoga from earlier. This Amoga only has Aerial Ace, and I'm able to knock him out using a Muddy Water. Goes for a Pursuit for some reason, but I am able to knock it out using a Muddy Water. And Palpitoad cleans up and pretty much clutches up the battle for us. From there, we're going to head into Driftville Bridge and find ourselves our next Water-type Pokemon. Out here, we're able to find ourselves a Ducklet, which I don't see too many people using. We're going to get a Swanna on our team for once. And then we're going to head into Driftville City's gym. We're going to face off against Clay. Clay is going to be the 5th gym leader in the game. And we're going to start the battle off against him using my Do What, which is going to Razor Shell into his Krokorok to knock him out in one shot. His next Pokemon is going to be his Ace Pokemon, which is going to be an Excadrill. He's going to Hone Claws in front of me, which isn't too big of a deal, as I'm able to Razor Shell, put him down to low HP, force him to Hyper Potion up. I don't have Aqua Jet right now, so I gotta just keep Razor Shelling up. And eventually, it's gonna randomly hit me with a Slash. I live it pretty easily, and Razor Shell will knock him out pretty easily. Knock out the Excadrill, and then his next Pokemon will be a Palpitoad, which I just try to beat down. I mean, this thing cannot do enough damage to me. As I go out to my Semi-Port, it's going to Scald it 2 times to knock him out. And we end up beating Clay, and that is going to be the 5th gym batch. From then on, we're going to move on to the next gym. I mean, it's pretty simple. We're going to head into Skylar's gym. Skylar is going to be the flying type gym leader in the game. And we're going to start the battle off against her using my Swanna to do some damage against the Swoobat. It gets boosted up, which is unfortunate to start off the battle against. So I have to go out to my Do What next. Do What is going to survive an attack from the Swoobat, and a Razor Shell will knock him out with a Focus Energy crit, you know. Focus, anyone's ever used Focus Energy like this is crazy. Like, I've never used Focus Energy this much until I went into this playthrough, because there is no other moves Do What has. So I'm able to knock out the Unfezant as well, and then her final Pokemon will be a Swanna, which takes a lot of, I don't know why I did this, but I stayed in against the Swanna using my Tortuga, and my Tortuga goes down against the Swanna for some reason. I'm just an idiot. I just can't believe I just sack my Tortuga like that. But I go out to my Swanna next, and I just trying to Air Slash it down. Eventually, I'm getting a free crit against him, and that would knock out the Swanna using Air Slash. But unfortunately, my Tortuga goes down, and I put a Def on the Def counter. But my Do What evolves into a Samurott, so I mean, there's a silver lining at least. From there, we're gonna finally get the HM for Surf. Surf is gonna be a useful HM as we go back to Driftville City. We're able to encounter ourselves our water type Pokemon out here in a Frillish. Fortunately, it does not have Water Absorb, which is unfortunate. And then from there, we can go back out into Route 4 in the desert area and catch ourselves an Alomomola, which is giving me the final Pokemon on our team, because Tortuga, of course, has to die. Anyways, from there we're gonna head into Icarus City and face off against the 7th gym leader in the game. We're gonna face off against Bryson next. Bryson is going to be the ice type gym leader in the game and start the battle off against us using a vanilla. I have a Samurott, and Samurott has a fighting move. It actually ends up not doing too much damage with Revenge, as you can see. But in the following turn, when it finally hits me, Revenge is going to knock out the vanilla, which, I mean, I take back my words. From there, he's gonna switch out into a Bear Tick, which is gonna swagger me. Not the best idea from him, because I have Revenge as it one-shots the Bear Tick. Oh, it does not how does it not one-shot a Bear Tick? I just don't understand that. That doesn't make any sense at all. But I'm gonna hit myself in confusion multiple times, which is unfortunate. I'm gonna put myself in very low HP, so at this point I can't risk it. I'm still confused. I don't know if I'm gonna break out of confusion this turn, but I gotta switch out into my Simipour. It's gonna take a slash from the Bear Tick, but I'm able to burn it down. And then I can switch out to my Seismitoad, which will knock him out with a Surf. And down goes the Bear Tick. And then his last Pokemon will be a Cryogonal, which I'm gonna Surf him. He's not gonna do too much damage against me. I am able to 3-shot down the Cryogonal. It can heal up. It gets annoying, and eventually I have to switch out. But eventually we're gonna beat down the Cryogonal, and we're gonna get our 7th gym badge of the game. From there though, we're gonna head into the next and final gym of the game. We're punching through gyms really quickly, but we're gonna face off against the 8th and final gym leader in the game. We're gonna face off against Drayden. Drayden's giving the Dragon type gym leader of the game, and he's gonna start the battle off against us using a Fracture. Unfortunately for Drayden, I bought the TM for Blizzard, and Blizzard is going to go crazy on his team as I one-shot the Fracture, and then he goes out into his Druddigon. I also Blizzard and one-shot down the Druddigon, and then his final Pokemon will be a Haxorus, which I also Blizzard and knock him out in one shot, and Drayden goes down. Drayden was the easiest gym leader, even though he was the last gym leader of the game. Now from there, we're going to head into Victory Road, clear through Victory Road, and head into the Pokemon League. One final look into our team, and that is going to be our preparations done for the Elite Four. Now we're going to head into the first Elite Four member and face off against Chantal. Chantal is going to be the Ghost type Elite Four member, and we're going to start the battle off against her using my Swanna. Swanna is an interesting choice. I'm going to Surf into the Cofagrigus and do 0 damage. Wow. That was kind of embarrassing. Swanna does no damage. Swanna's going to Air Slash into Cofagrigus and then switch out into my Simipour, which takes a nasty Shadow Ball, which does a lot of damage, but I'm able to knock him out using a Scald. And then from there, she can switch out into her Jellicent, which I don't have an answer to. I go out to my Seismitoad. It takes an Energy Ball, which is unfortunate. I do not know she has Energy Ball. So I have to go out to my Alolan Momola, and then I'm going to Wish up and try to get my HP back up. I switch into my Jellicent, which can stall down the opposing Jellicent, but it also has Shadow Ball and Energy Ball, so it's going to lower my special defense eventually. I go back out into my Jellicent. After hundreds of turns of just trying to avoid the Jellicent, I finally get a Cursed Body on the Shadow Ball, so I'm able to recover up against her own Jellicent. Eventually I do get an Omnis Wind boost up against him, which this is actually amazing for us because that's the only way we're able to beat him down. So once we get the attack boost, we're able to 2-shot down the Jellicent using Omnis Wind, which unfortunately it Curse Body me, so I can't use Omnis Wind anymore. But from there, she only has Pokemon that are weak to water, so I'm able to Water Pulse into the Chandelier and knock him out in one shot. And then her final Pokemon will be a Golurk, which I'm able to Water Pulse into him, but he lives somehow. He lives the move with 1 HP. Shadow Punch me in my face, but I live it because of the defense boost up with Omnis Wind, so I'm able to 2-shot him down using 2 more Water Pulses, and we end up beating Chantal. Just barely beat down Chantal. Next up, we're going to move out and face off against Grimsley next. Grimsley is going to be the Dark type Elite Four member of the game. I'm going to start the battle off against Grimsley using my Swanna against his Scrafty. He's going to 2-shot him down using Air Slash without taking any damage, which is a nice start. And then his next Pokemon will be a Crocodile, which I am able to get Air Slash off against him, but unfortunately he's going to Foul Play me regardless. So I'm going to Surf him and knock him out in the following turn. I was looking for the flinch. His next Pokemon is going to be, unfortunately, a Liepard, which fake outs me, so it puts me down to half HP. And I'm kind of scared here, so I go out to my Aloe. And then Aloe is a physical tank, so I'm able to Water Pulse into the Liepard. And if it gets low on HP at any point, I get to Wish up and Protect, get my HP back. Aloe is a pretty useful Pokemon, actually. I was surprised at how many times I do end up using Aloe, because I thought it was going to be a useless Pokemon. But I knock out the Liepard, and then he goes out into his Bisharp next. I go for a Wish, and then switch out into my Samurott to eventually Revenge him and knock him out in one shot. And we end up beating Grimsley without too many issues. And from there, we move on into the next Elite Four member. The next Elite Four member is going to be against Caitlyn. Caitlyn is going to be the Psychic type Elite Four member of the game, and she can start the battle off against us using a Reuniclus. I'm going to start the battle off using my Jellicent, my big squid looking thing. I'm going to Omnis Wind into the Renewiclus. Unfortunately, I don't get a boost, but luckily I dodged the Thunder. So I'm able to Omnis Wind once more to knock out the Renewiclus, and that could have been really bad. Gothitelle comes up next. It's going to Calm Mind as I Omnis Wind it, so this is a bad situation. I think it's going to live another Omnis Wind, so I switch out into my Samurott. Bad idea, it's going to Thunderbolt, so that was pretty bad of me, but I am able to live it, and then Aquatail to knock out the Gothitelle. Aquatail to knock out the Gothitelle. That's a rhyme right there. Musharna comes on next as I'm going out into my Seismitoad, which does a lot of damage with Surf. What kind of damage is this? I am able to two-shot down the Musharna using my Seismitoad, which is crazy. Where did that damage come from? And then her final opponent will be a Sigilyph, which I am able to Blizzard down. Not with my Jellicent. Jellicent missed the Blizzard, of course it does. Go out to my Swanna. Swanna does a lot of damage. It gets frozen by the Sigilyph, which is unfortunate. I go out to my Simipour, and Simipour is able to burn him and knock him out in two-shot using Scald. And we're able to beat down the Sigilyph. And so far, we're not losing a single Pokemon against the Elite Four. We move out and face off against Marshall, the final Elite Four member of the game, and we're going to start the battle off against him using my Swanna. Swanna's easily just getting Air Slash, knock out the throw in one shot, which is nice. Saw comes out, I'm looking for a flinch. Unfortunately, I don't get a flinch, and I get hit with a Stone Edge. But luckily enough, I lived Stone Edge. I Air Slash once more to knock out the Sock, and then his next Pokemon will be a Conkeldurr, which I had to switch out into my Jellicent to get a Water Pulse. I've never seen this in my life. Have you ever seen a Conkeldurr use Grass Knot? Conkeldurr has a grass move and is Grass Knot. I just can't believe it, but it's not going to do any damage as I'm able to stall out the Conkeldurr, as you can see. Waste all of the potions that Marshall has, and eventually knock him out. And the final Pokemon on Marshall's team is going to be this Mienshao. I'm able to Water Pulse into him, do about half, and then stay in and knock him out in the following turn. So we end up beating Marshall pretty easily, and we beat the Elite Four without losing a single Pokemon. Now we move on into Ant's Castle, the last portion of the game. We're going to catch ourselves a Reshiram, not put it on our team, and then face off against N next. N is going to be the second to last fight of the game. And lucky for us, he starts the battle off against us using a Zekrom, which is going to be an electric type Pokemon. I say that it's lucky because I have a Seismitoad right here. Seismitoad is able to resist Zekrom to an extent. Obviously, he's not going to live the Dragon Claws and whatever, the Dragon Breaths, and definitely not the Giga Impacts, but he could definitely survive the Fusion Bolts. So I'm able to much shot him down, and then when I get low on HP, I go out to my Alomomola to Wish Up. This can force him to use a Fusion Bolt, which I get away with because I have Ground type. I get my HP back up, and I start just damaging down the Zekrom once again. In hindsight, I really wish I went back and used Bodos, teach Bodos into my Seismitoad. That could have been very useful, but I decided to go back and forth. And two, I finally knock out the Zekrom using my Seismitoad. Took a little bit, but I'm able to knock him out using my Seismitoad. His next Pokemon will be a Klinklang, an actual Klinklang, not the Zoroark in the back. I'm able to two-shot him while taking a Flash Cannon from him and knock out the Klinklang. His next Pokemon will be a Vanillux, which I'm going to go right out into my Samurott because Samurott is pretty tanky and also has a fighting move. So I'm able to Revenge into him to knock him out in one shot. His next Pokemon is going to be a Zoroark, which I want to stay in and Revenge him, but he's going to Focus Blast into me. Gets me down to very low HP, also loses my special defense, and I miss my Aquatail, which would for sure knock him out because Zoroark has bad defense, and also I'm in Torrent range. Unfortunate, I should have just went for a Revenge and knock him out, but I go out to my Simipour next. Simipour is going to Scald into the Zoroark, and luckily enough, it misses its Focus Blast, which would have knocked out my Simipour, but we take those. So I'm able to two-shot knock out the Zoroark. And then N's next Pokemon will be a Caracosta. I go to my Seismitoad next. I am able to Surf him twice to knock him out, but he's going to hit me pretty hard with a Waterfall. And I don't want to go through that, so I decided to go out into my Jellicent. Jellicent is not going to get hit by an Aqua Jet. He's going to get hit by a Crunch, which is so dumb. Because now I'm forced to hit him, and he's going to live with 1 HP with me. Even though I Water Post him, and he's going to Crunch again. And now I'm afraid he's going to actually use Aqua Jet, as I'm at 5 HP. Can't really do much, so I go out to my Aloe next. Aloe is going to survive any hits, taking an Aqua Jet like I thought, and then knock him out using a Water Pulse after healing up using Wish. And then from there, his last Pokemon will be an Arceus, which I survived pretty easily. A Water Pulse will put him in confusion, and then he's going to hit himself, and then another Water Pulse will knock him out, and we beat N pretty easily. This fight I wasn't worried about at all. The next fight I was quite worried about. The final fight in the game is going to be against Ghetsis, and Ghetsis is going to be quite a monster. He is the boss of Team Plasma, and we're going to start the battle off against him using Obviously, I still got to use my Seismitoad against his Cofagrigus. I know he wants to go for a Toxic, so I decided to go for a Surf first. And then he's going to Toxic me, which is completely fine. I decided to go out and switch out Jellicent next. I'm going to put Jellicent out there and try to use an Ominous Wind to knock him out and get a stat boost. I do knock him out, but I don't get a stat boost, which is unfortunate. His next Pokemon is going to be a Buffalon. Buffalon's quite scary because it does have a lot of strong hitting moves. So I decided to go out into my Seismitoad to take a Wild Charge, obviously. And then it's going to try to Head Smash me and everything. I'm trying to Surf him down, and I need to Surf. I get him down below half HP. I go out to my Jellicent to avoid the Head Smash, which is a nice play on me. I missed the Hydro Pump, and it's going to Wild Charge into me. And he does so much damage that at this point, I assume he's going to go for an obvious Potion. But he doesn't go for a Potion. I miss another Hydro Pump, and then it's going to Wild Charge into me to knock out my Jellicent. First KO. Uh-oh, that's not a good look. That is not a good look. And now it's at low HP, which now I assume it's going to go for a full restore, which it does. I go for an Aqua Tail, which is unfortunate. It does about just what I needed before. So I should have gone into my Samurott earlier, but I'm going to my Aloe next to wish up against the Buffalon. It's going to Head Smash into me. Does a lot of damage against me. And I am going to protect this turn to get my HP back up against him. Taking another Head Smash, which is unfortunate, but I'm going to protect up. It's going to Head Smash me once more, and I'm going for a Water Pulse to knock him out, as I'm able to outspeed him and knock him out in one shot. Oh, I do not knock him out, but he's going to Head Smash me and take down Recoil, which is unfortunate, but we do knock him out, and then his next Pokemon will be Electros. I know at this point my Seismitoad is going to live or avoid one last electric moves for me. I absorb the Wild Charge and then go out for a Surf. Surf does under half against Electros, and then my Seismitoad will go down against him. I go out to my Samurott next. Samurott hopefully will live a Wild Charge. It does outspeed him. Aquatone does knock down Electros to very low HP as it goes for a Wild Charge to do a lot of damage against my Samurott to one-shot him with a crit. But luckily that means the Electros will go down, as I'm going down to my last 3 Pokemon. I go out to my Simipour next. I need to save Simipour's HP for later against the Hydreigon, so I go out to my Swanna next. Swanna is going to Surf against the Seismitoad. Does not even half? How does that even work? But I'm going to Air Slash into the Seismitoad and then Surf once again to knock him out. And then his next Pokemon will be a Bisharp, which I'm able to Surf into him. Not knock him out. Not knock him out. He's going to Stone Edge and knock out my Swanna, so I'm down to the last 2 Pokemon. I go out to my Simipour next. Simipour is going to Scald, knock out the Bisharp, and then his last Pokemon will be a Hydreigon, which I am able to survive a Dragon Pulse against. I don't outspeed. I Blizzard into him. A Blizzard does not knock out the Hydreigon, which is completely unfortunate. But we've wasted all his healing items at this point, so all we gotta do is sack our Simipour, go out to my Alomomola, and then start wishing up and protecting against the Hydreigon until eventually it runs out of Dragon Pulses, which is a bad strategy. It's you know what, I got a PP stall, but Aloe does his job correctly. I am able to finally eventually Water Pulse into him and knock him out, even though he's confused, but eventually I am able to knock him out. And we beat down Getsis with our Staller Pokemon, with our Aloe, and we end up beating the challenge. We beat Pokemon Black, Hardcore Nuzlocke with only Water-type Pokemon, and honestly, that was pretty intense. Most of the game, we actually flew through pretty easily. Unfortunately, at the end, Getsis, the hardest possible fight against him. We also sacked Tortuga earlier in the game, which is also my fault. It could have made the game a lot easier with Shell Smash and everything, but we end up beating the game, and we beat the challenge, and that will be the end of the video. So thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to leave a like, comment down below some challenge ideas just like this one, and subscribe if you guys are not already. It'll greatly help my channel. And my name has been Alpha. Hope you guys all had a great day, and I am out. Peace.